am back. I'm come out of hiding. I'm out of my bunker. I'm here. I was never in a bunker. I was never anywhere. I have been dying to get to you guys, and the news, COVID-19, this lockdown has driven me out of my secret place. I'm back, and I want to talk to you guys. I want to tell you, too, that I have gotten married. I am now married to the Reyes Woodrow now, and I live in California, loving life, in church, having a great time, blessed of God. But I want to tell you that the things that you and I have talked about for years are now happening. We were right all along. So the pandemic, as we're in COVID-19, I saw this article in Reuters, and I want to show you this article. You'll see there, it says that they are withholding information from us about the deaths of COVID. Now, of course, they're saying they're doing it for national security, and they're saying they got a reason for it and all that, but I just want to lay that foundation that they're admitting that they are withholding information. So couple that now with this video I saw from Dr. Scott Jensen, who flat out said that he has been coached by the Department of Health and Human Services about how to fill out the death certificate. Watch this clip.
As a physician, I received an email last week from the Department of Health coaching me on how to fill out death certificates. And I've never really received coaching from the Vital Statistics Agency in terms of how to do a death certificate. But basically, I felt like they were saying, you know, you don't have to have a confirmed laboratory test for COVID-19 in order to make the death certificate be COVID-19.
So wait. Sir, I don't mean to interrupt you, but that what you just said, I think is critically important. Can you repeat what you just said, please?
Well, last Friday, I received a 7-page document that sort of told me that if I had an 86-year-old patient that had pneumonia but was never tested for COVID-19, but sometime after she came down with pneumonia, we learned that she had been exposed to her son who had no symptoms, but later on was identified with COVID-19, that it would be appropriate to diagnose on the death certificate COVID-19. Now, we've not done that. If someone has the pneumonia after and it's in the middle of a flu epidemic, and I don't have a test on influenza, I don't diagnose influenza on the death certificate. I will say this elderly patient died of pneumonia.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but my heart is sinking right now as you're telling me this. You're a doctor. Why in the world would they be sending you out information to fill out death certificates, whether the person's been diagnosed with COVID-19 or not, but then to say in the death certificate this person's death was caused by COVID-19? That does not sound right to me.
I went to the person in our office who does most of the death certificates over the last 10, 20 years, and I said, does this sound right? I had her look at the documents that I'd printed off, and she said, well, we've always been told that you always put down just facts. You don't put down any probabilities. You don't put any presumptions down. It's just what you know.
So he says right there that they're now telling him, well, even if they don't have the symptoms, go ahead and write down that he died of COVID-19, even though we don't know how he died. And he asks his lady that fills out the death certificates, hey, do we always do that? She's like, no, there's never any time we put presumptions or probabilities. It's always fact. You can't presume something is the reason it happened. This is a death certificate. But who do we have? The government instructing doctors to possibly raise the death toll to create fear. The devil works on fear. That's how the devil controls you and I. He tries to control us through fear. Fear is a mainstay of the devil's gospel. So now, Dr. Annie Bukacek also says that the COVID numbers are a complete lie. Look at this.
It also requires an understanding of what we know at this point, that most people who test positive for COVID-19 have mild or no symptoms. Therefore, testing positive for COVID-19 does not mean a person is sick with it, or if the person died, that they died from it. To drive this home, we need to understand how the CDC and National Vital Statistics System are instructing physicians to fill out death certificates related to COVID-19. Brace yourselves, and please pay attention, and let what I'm about to tell you sink in. The assumption of COVID-19 death can be made even without testing. Based on assumption alone, the death can be reported to the public as another COVID-19 casualty.
So what does this tell us? This tells us that the government is completely lying to us. Yes, that's what's happening. This is not the truth. Where's all these bodies that Fauci said we're going to have? He came to the mic the other week and said, I have to admit the bodies are not there that I said we're going to be here. So we know that Hosea 4:6 says that my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. We know that. So we know that knowledge is power. We know that we have to understand the times we live in. And I'm telling you something right now. We don't know the fullness of what's going on here, but I can tell you that we're not being told the truth. And the end time, the time before Jesus comes back, is full of mass deception from the father of lies, the devil. And I'm so glad to be back in front of you. We're going to start producing more videos and coming to you with more news, because power is knowledge and the lack of it is death.